Hi students, welcome back to Social Studies class, and today we continue a new chapter of geography, that is agriculture. And you may be knowing that India is basically an agricultural nation, and two-thirds of our country's population is totally depending upon agriculture and allied activity for their livelihood. And still, you can say majority of the population directly or indirectly depending upon Indian agriculture. Now, agriculture is an ancient activity of our country and it is still continuing, and still majority of the population is engaged in agriculture activity. But over period of time, since ancient time till medieval and in modern time, there has been a gradual change in the agricultural practice. You would have seen that in early days, in previous chapters, you would have studied how the people used to practice agriculture in earlier days. Suppose we take our country, India itself, in 90s, in 70s, 60s and all, in our country, they used to practice in a different way. We don't have modern technologies, we don't have modern implements in our country to practice the growth, cultivation of agriculture. We used to take the help of bulls, ox or manual way to do agriculture, which used to take a lot of time, and more labor, manual force used to be more because it was totally labor oriented activity. But in the recent past, when the, you can say, green revolution started in the mid 60s, 1960s and all, then onwards slowly the changes started coming in our agricultural activities. Now, today we will read about the types of farming in India. First one is primitive subsistence farming. The word primitive itself, by hearing this, you will understand that primitive is old method, old practice of agriculture. Yes, primitive nothing but it was done mostly in the tribal area or in the forest area, where the people used to cut down a patch of area of trees and all, and later they used to put them into various agricultural practice. Now, what they used to do, they used to cut down the trees, they used to burn the grasses, roots and all, and later then they used to plow it and practice the agriculture. But once the fertility used to get completed or the soil is fertility, they shift to another places. So because of this process, cutting, practicing agriculture and all, it became a type of agriculture which is known as shifting agriculture, because the farmers or those tribal people used to practice this agriculture, they used to keep on shifting from one place to another place. Now, here totally manual workforce was used by using old methods, old implements like hoe, fork, or cutting like axe and all, old methods, sickle for cutting the grass and all completely old instruments were used. Next, in some parts of our country, this primitive substance is known as juming also. Juming, that is word mostly used in our country, the northeastern states of our country. We call them seven sisters, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, all these northeastern states, the seven sisters, these shifting agriculture or primitive intensive agriculture is also known as juming. Now, not only juming has a name in northeastern states of India, it has even different names in different parts of our country also. For example, if you take in our own country, like Dhaiya in Madhya Pradesh, if you take if you take Walten in Rajasthan, Like if you take Poda, Penda in Andhra Pradesh, Bewar in Rajasthan, like this different names are associated with this shifting agriculture. The reason is with these are the names of the tribal groups living in these different regions, and this agriculture is practiced by those tribal group of people. That is why it is named after that tribal groups mostly. Okay, next, not only in our country, in other country also it has got different names like Milpa in Mexico and Central America, Roca in Brazil, okay, Ray in Vietnam. Like this, it has different names in different parts of the world also. So that was nothing but primitive substance farming, which we also known as zooming or shifting cultivation. I hope so you are understanding. Next, intensive substance farming. Intensive substance farming is practiced where the population is very high. There is lot of pressure on agriculture land for the growth or cultivation or farming, we can say. Now, in our country, northern plain, if you take, that is from Punjab to Assam, which is the longest north plain of the world, okay, which is around 3,200 kilometers approximately, and this area is highly densely populated because this area is completely plain, and majority of the people of this area, they have opted their occupation as agriculture. Now, in this area, you see, because of large population, excess population, most of the people, they depend on agriculture, because of which there is a lot of pressure on the agriculture. They are not going to leave the land as a fallow for even a single agricultural season. That is 2 to 3 months duration also, they will not leave. They will be continuously growing the various crops in various seasons. Okay, next, in order to regain the fertility or to increase the production, they use more or excessive biochemicals, fertilizers and pesticides and all they use. Instead of leaving as a fallow land, they do the crop rotation, by which the soil may regain its fertility. So crop rotation is done, and excess use of biochemicals and manures and fertilizers are used to grow the crops or to increase the production of crop. This is because since 1947 till now in our country, the land holding, the size of land holding per farmer is day by day decreasing because of fragmentation, family divisions. Generation by generation we see the land is being divided among the family members, and the size of the land is becoming small and small. So within a small patch of land, there is a more pressure to grow the more crops or to have a high production, because of which they use excess fertilizer. This intensive subsistence farming is totally labor orientation. Here they use more labor force, and mostly this type of practice is for the self-consumption. Mostly the farmer do for the self-consumption. Rare cases they sell the excess, but even that also they try to keep as a stock in their house, because in our country we know the nature is uncertain. We don't know which year the situation will be normal, which year flood may come, which year drought may come. So these are all are natural calamities. So farmers, they first of all they keep sufficient food grains for themselves for the present and the coming season. If there is excess, then only they sell in the market. Otherwise, intensive subsistence farming is completely for the self-consumption. Okay, now students, next, that is commercial farming. By name commercial only, you would have understood that commercial is a word nothing but profit oriented or for business purpose. Yes, this commercial farming is a type of farming where we require high yielding variety of seeds, HYV, high yielding variety of seeds. It requires high labor plus technical thing also. It requires technology also. Now, it requires high fertilizers, pesticides, proper irrigation facilities, train both skilled and unskilled laborers. All it required for the commercial farming. Now, commercial farming differs from region to region. In our country, the geographical condition, climate is different. So, the commercial farming differ from region to region. For example, if you take South India. For South India, rice is a staple food grain. They use as a staple food grain. Like in North India, we use wheat, chapati. But in Punjab, Haryana and all, they grow rice on a large scale as a commercial farming to sell them in the market to earn profit. Like that only. Apart from this, if you take plantation, also comes under commercial farming. Plantation like banana, tea, coffee, sugar, these all are type of plantation crop and also part of commercial. Now these all require skilled and unskilled labor. They require very good facility of modern technologies. Apart from that, they require very good network of road, transport and communication, because they all are market oriented agriculture activity. So this commercial farming requires very good network of road, transport, communication, skilled and unskilled labor. Even you can see in commercial farming where plantation is done, we see mostly migrant laborers are used in the plantation agriculture to increase the production, to have further regular availability of labor. They keep those laborers on the contract basis or on the monthly or weekly wages. So commercial farming is also known as business farming or profit oriented farming. So today we have discussed about primitive subsistence farming, intensive subsistence farming, commercial farming. So students, I hope so you would have understood all these three types of farming. So in the next class we will study about the types of agricultural season. Okay, by the time, take care, see you, bye.